So, today is a historical day.
Historical.
It's the end of America.
Wow.
Yeah, did you know?
We did it. Congratulations.
we did it. Well, no, we can't take the credit because it was... who was it that did the things that...
The things.
The things? Who's doing the things?
The Manhattan DA.
Manhattan DA.
Yeah. Brought our moist president.
Oh, he's so wet. He makes me wet.
Oh. Donald Trump up on some bullshit.
Bullshit. That's all I don't know much about what's going on, but I just think it sounds like bullshit.
So it was very confusing to the point where even the jury requested more information on what they were doing because they had no idea what they were doing.
I don't understand.
And they're like, okay, so they had to get separate, like second level instructions on what they were supposed to, like, because they went back to the judge and they're like, we don't know what we're supposed to convict on. Like, we don't know what we're ruling on.
I don't know what's going on.
Exactly. And so they're trying to say that when, it's very complicated, but when Trump's attorney wrote a check to a woman who alleged that she had an affair with Trump, that was illegal election interference.
When he wrote a check to a woman
Who was alleging that there was an affair in 2004?
2004?
Yeah.
There was election interference.
In 2016.
But it happened in 2004.
Yes. The check was written...
How did
apparently the check was written sometime in 2015.
Oh. So he wrote the check in 2015.
The attorney wrote the check in 2015.
Oh, an attorney wrote the check.
Which is, again, not illegal.
No.
If someone is extorting you for money.
Wait. 2015. It's 2024.
Yeah.
Isn't that like... I'm not a legal expert. Does that fall under the statute of limitations?
Apparently not, and that's what surprised a lot of people.
Because it's like 8-9 years later.
Yes. Now, mind you, this attorney of Trump's has already been arrested, gone to jail on tax fraud charges, and admitted during the trial that he had stolen money from the Trump organization by writing checks to himself.
So someone who has committed fraud on Trump's behalf,
yes,
is the key ingredient to this.
Not even committing fraud on Trump's behalf. He committed fraud on his own measure.
Yeah, he did, but you like signing checks.
But they're saying that in his capacity as Trump's attorney, Trump is therefore liable for his actions, which also doesn't make sense. Because then the charges come down to things like falsifying business records and things like that.
Yay. I don't know much about law, like I said, but this sounds like bullshit.
And it's bullshit, and I think the way you know it's bullshit is even when people who despise Trump would never vote for him are like, why are they doing this?
Exactly.
Like, that doesn't make any sense. This isn't even like a real thing.
Okay, I've just been scrolling Twitter. I tried to mirror Twitter up on the screen, but I'm not able to do that, so I'll just read. I'm just scrolling, so I don't have anything saved, but I'm just been like, it's been a lovely day.
Right.
It's been so much fun. So I'm just going to read the first one I see. And these are people I don't follow. My Twitter has been surprisingly like not like an echo chamber. I do get people who are very left and I see their posts. So it's actually been kind of nice. I get to see like everything. Chaya Ray Chick 10 just tweeted, "My name is Chaya."
Oh, that's the Libs of TikTok lady.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Libs of TikTok lady. I live in the USA and I will be voting for a convicted felon this November. You? And then, of course, there's Ryan. Where's another one? Okay, Daniel Kotson. I don't know who this is. Daniel Kotson. I have never voted for Donald Trump before, but I will certainly be voting for him now. The Democrats are a clear and present danger to truth, justice, and the American way. They must be defeated. MAGA. So they say. We don't know these people, but it's just all I'm seeing is support for Trump. Like,
Right.
the only people that have posted or been somewhat leaning more in favor of this verdict are media
Celebrity.
and some celebrities.
Like John Cusack or something.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything from any like actual like person who lives in this country actually like being like, yay, it's all been like super privileged people.
Well, like okay, so Perry Abbasi, who's one of my favorite
Yeah.
followers and people on Twitter, after Michael Cohen admitted he stole money from Trump and then wanted a reimbursement, Perry said, the Stormy Daniels scheme was cooked up by Michael Cohen for the sole purpose of enabling him to steal money from Trump. There's a reason that the feds didn't charge Trump for this, and it took a world-class idiot like Alvin Bragg, the DA, to think there was a case here. So everyone's kind of the belief
Okay.
Sorry, there is not a case.
Yeah. No one pursued this because
No.
they knew there's nothing there.
And remember, like, there's the old saying of, like, you can get a jury of 12 people to indict a ham sandwich. Like,
Yeah.
you can get, like, you know.
I see a lot I see a lot of far right contributors saying stuff like we live in a banana republic. We like
We
this
don't
is
live in a mall.
well, I mean, I wish we did sometimes.
We do.
Maybe we okay, speaking of malls, have you ever walked through a mall and seen like a Foot Locker and anyone buying anything there?
I see people stealing things from
Exactly. So these places don't make money. Like that's another conspiracy. That's a whole other.
Well,
that's a whole other.
No, I'm gonna bring that back so fucking fast, because the empty mall theory is kind of like the justice system in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Well, watch how I do this.
Okay.
A lot of it is the appearance that things are on the up and up, or that things are going well, or that like there's some kind of society that we still have that's functional. But much like these malls are just kind of dead and people are going through the motions, for a long time the justice system has been just kind of going through the motions. And so that's why the one thing that's bothering me today is the people who are, especially on the right, who are like the justice system just doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, where were you the past like 8 years with all of these cases? Whether it's the people who walked by the Capitol on January 6th who are now clapped in irons, or the guy who made the memes about Hillary Clinton and now he's sentenced to like 10 years of jail for election fraud, or Daniel Perry, the guy on the subway who killed the guy who was being crazy and attacking people.
Yeah.
And now he's you know in Manhattan as well being indicted. Like where were you during all of these things? But I think that there's still this belief on the right that like if I just do all the right things and pay my taxes, they'll leave me alone. That's not true.
No. I mean, Blair White even said, "Oh, you're mad about the Trump conviction? Let me remind you that not a single Epstein client has been convicted. Get furious."
Well, yeah.
So
and by the way, this is the same justice system that let Epstein kill himself in a jail, in one of the most watched jails in the country, with a camera every 1 foot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and it's just another example of like, and I've said this before. It's like we don't live in that country people think we do. Like this is America, but this is America Incorporated. Like this isn't America, land of the free. It's like no, you are a product, and like the justice system is literally just HR.
Well, here's the thing: we have ideals. Ideals, though, they're ideals. We look up to them. It doesn't mean that that's what happened.
No, yeah, money is what keeps everything going. And there's a lot of money to be made being president.
Right. And it's like in certain states and in certain jurisdictions, they apply the justice system wildly unfairly in some situations. And it just goes to show that, like, for example, I know someone who is an exceptional person, who's very smart, who's a programmer, going through a visa application process. You have to apply, like, I think step one was to apply as an exceptional person visa, which is you're someone of exceptional intelligence or business acumen, or you're a celebrity or whatever like that. And it's okay for you to stay in the United States. And this person really helped found like a major social media network. No, got thrown out. And it may have to do with his country of origin being Russia. It's possible. But regardless, it's like, but we usually approve people who are seeking asylum or whatever from Russia.
Yeah. He just needs to go to Mexico and just walk in.
Exactly. So that's why I've really considered being like, look, I could chip in to get you a ticket to Cabo and take a little, train ride up to Ensenada and just walk across the border. Like at this point, like what does it matter?
Yeah.
There's no like the fact that like they'll sit there, film at the border, and there's people just like walking across in like groups, and the border patrol's like, okay, it's right this way. It's like, wait a second, what?
Yeah.
I always think of like there was a story of like the British people who like were in line for 10 years, who started a company in line for 10 years to get in, and other people get like automatic green card, asylum approval, or what have you, just because of walking across.
There's no merit, and nothing's merit. Everything is how much money you got.
Right.
And so
I have a feeling that this thing is going to go similarly to. Wasn't Trump impeached twice?
This isn't again. Okay, I don't know if my memory serves me correct, but I feel like this isn't the first time he's been convicted of something.
No,
exactly.
So he lost a criminal case where a woman, this E. Jean Carroll woman, also in New York, claimed that in 1996 he shoved her in a dressing room at Bergdorf's and fingered her or something.
Who among us?
But exactly. But again, this is a situation where there were no witnesses. There were no bystanders. You're in one of the busiest stores on the busiest street corner in the United States. The fact that nobody can corroborate this, but you have this woman who's just like, I saved the dress, and all this stuff.
It was cute. It was on sale. Of course I saved it.
Exactly. They tested it. Like nothing happened, but then basically got a judge to say, oh, he was defaming me when he said that this wasn't true, and then got he losing a civil trial based on that. To the point where they were trying to like that, and then they looked at his business records where you state the value of your property for loan purposes. The bank approved it, and they said, no, that's not the right value. And then he lost a case on that. So this is like the third case where it's like any normal person or any wealthy person would not be convicted on something like this, but it's like because it's him, they think that it's okay to do that.
And again, I think this is what, whether you're liberal or Democrat, liberal or Republican or conservative, progressive, whatever, left, right, Biden and his family has been done a lot of suspicious things that prosecutors have been trying to go after, but they are for some reason protected from everything. Even though they don't have money, they're not from a wealthy family, they don't have a corporation. They're just apparently just, what do they call him? Ohio Joe.
Right.
Yeah. So they're just like this normal family.
Delaware Joe. Yeah.
Delaware Joe. Whatever.
We know an Ohio Joe.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Remember from the group? Joe.
Oh, that's where that's where I got that name from. I'm like,
shout out to Joe.
Yeah. Delaware Joe. Whatever. But like, he's done so many shady things where it's like nothing's been proven or tried or seen a courtroom. So it's like, well, I can't say if it truly happened or not. But the fact that exists out there on Biden, but nothing comes of it. And then with Trump, it's like, if he is as bad as they say he is, and all they have is like this, it really is just like, wow, he really is not a bad person for being so incredibly rich.
The worst that I think that he has ever committed of anything that he's ever done in his entire life is he maybe stiffed a few contractors.
Yeah.
Building buildings in New York. But you can throw a stick and hit 5 builders in New York who are well known and successful and famous and everything like this, who have probably done the same. And then you go to court and you figure it out. There's a lot of shitty contractors. That's like small potatoes. If that's the worst that you've actually ever done, compared to people in government who, because of their government position, have enriched themselves, have like Joe Biden or Hillary or any of these other people who are. Who are wildly protected because the policy that they advanced is the policy that the government supports. That's the biggest issue.
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like they're not public servants, and we know that now. Like, if you don't know that, you need to read something.
Well, remember, the Nixon situation. The fact
I don't remember. I wasn't there.
Well, that was there. But the fact that you have a president who was, at the time, one of the most popular presidents ever elected, won almost every single state, won by one of the biggest majorities ever in 68 and then bigger in 72, was promising to end the war in Vietnam. And right when that happened, all of a sudden they say, oh, these people who say that they know you tried to bug the campaign headquarters at the Democratic National Convention or something. Meanwhile, Nixon's entire campaign was bugged, his White House was bugged, his Oval Office was bugged, everything was bugged by various government agencies the entire time, and he recorded every conversation he ever had while in the capacity of the office. They tried to come after him for a situation that he was, for the most part, basically unaware of.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of ways, because he probably was more aware about other things that happened in government than other people were, like going back to Kennedy and before then.
Yeah.
He knew Kennedy, he ran against Kennedy. So the fact that he was impeached and threatened with jail, removal from office, everything like that, there hasn't really been a legitimate justice system since something like that.
Well, and that's and we've talked about this, post World War II literally was like the decline of America since then. Like, well, we had like
into World War II and post Great Depression, FDR basically was a dictator and took control of government. Like the federal government took control of most of the governance of the United States. That didn't end.
Yeah, and I've heard that before. Where he federalized the government, or he did something that's legitimate. I don't know all the details about it, but he legitimately turned America into like a different kind of nation.
He threatened to increase the size of the Supreme Court if the justices on the Supreme Court didn't rule in his favor. He threatened to basically break that institution. He also tried to get a law passed. I think it was passed basically during wartime, that suspended the ability for Americans to buy and sell gold in certain quantities. Like, there were many things during that period of time. Oh, and also freedom of the press, and got broadcasters kicked off the air who were critical of him, and da-da-da-da-da. It just, goes down the line. A lot of these wartime powers that were never, ever let go of, they're still, like, the executive orders are still there. If a president came in and wanted to just press a button, they could do it.
Yeah.
So, the idea that... And also ran for 4 terms.
Oh, God.
In a wheelchair.
Yeah, So that's America.
I love how people are like, oh, these norms and our this and our that and our democracy. All the people, anyone who says our democracy is so full of shit.
It's not. That's and someone said something about that recently, talking about anyone who says we need to protect democracy is literally saying like you need to do what I say. Yes. Like that's actually what they mean. Like when they say those words.
And they found out that democracy was the one that resonated with people the most of the time. Where if we say that what we're doing is defending democracy or protecting democracy or our democracy, then whatever we can justify from there on, has legitimacy to it. I
love how people love their buzzwords.
They do.
They love their words that make them feel good. They're fuzzy words.
They do.
And they also love just yeah.
Oh, I think I need a phone call from my camera.
Oh, okay. Okay. And we're back.
By unpopular demand.
Speak for yourself.
Oh wow.
So why did we need to come back?
So, sorry, I picked a car from the shop. So I saw that there was a tweet here. You were talking about the tweets that you've seen. This is from Con Carroll, who's a conservative writer, but one of those never Trump conservative writers. He said, through 2 primaries and 2 general elections, I have never voted for Trump. I would crawl over broken glass to vote for him now.
Oh, wow. So that's a big deal coming from him?
Yes, because these people are like, the rule of law. And I'm like, this is what it took for you to, get upset about this?
It kind of feels like I get the media hype right now. I'm kind of like, is it really warranted this much attention?
Well, I think people are making a big deal out of it because everyone knew that the case was bullshit. But the fact that it even got this far. But I think that here's the thing. Those same people, I think on some implicit level thought, well, he deserved it. Not in a legal sense, but in some kind of karmic sense. He just, deserved to have something like this happen to him. It's
so remarkable to me. Yes, he says a lot of ridiculous things, but I don't really he hasn't done. Here's the thing I think about. It's okay, has he done things that have, ruined people's lives? Has he taken money from orphans? Has he colonized a village? Or I don't know. Has he done humanitarian? I don't know.
No.
Exactly. I've never heard of him like he really displaced millions of people or thousands of people for his new factory that's making gold toilet seats or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's like, what has he done, really? Because I don't know. I don't really look at him up that much because I don't think about Trump that much.
Well, here's the thing. These are the same people who, and a lot of them hated Bush for many reasons because they thought he was vulgar and everything like this. But those same people like almost like love Bush now. So it's fascinating to me where I think it's like their hate for anyone who opposes their worldview is already high. But there's something about him that I think gets them because there's this palpable feeling among these resistance people that they're like, he got away with it. And I think the it that he got away with was he displaced an existing power structure. And that bothers them on some fundamental level.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that where like he wasn't supposed to be president. He wasn't supposed to win. Like that was not part of the plan.
Right.
And he won. So that's what I get where people get upset that he won because he's like, because I was supposed to win.
Because think of an alternate history where he lost. They would have looked at it and been like, oh my gosh, good thing that he didn't get elected. He was a buffoon. Anyway, we got our President Hillary now and everything's great and all that. But he would have not had the impact that he had he.
But also to that, I mean, yes, I'm voting for Trump. I support him, and I absolutely think he needs to win more than ever. But also, a world where he never became president, like, would that have been a more peaceful world? Would our country be like not so divided? Would our country be like, would the pandemic never happened? Like, because I believe that's a politically motivated outbreak. It's like, would these things never happen if Hillary had won? Sometimes I wonder.
I mean, it's the same thinking that a lot of people put into if Al Gore won in 2000 and became president, and then Bush never became president. Would you have people who hated the president that much? Would 9/11 have happened? It's just kind of a repeat of that same mentality. Would it have been as bad as it would have been? Would be involved in foreign conflicts and everything like this? And the answer is probably yes.
Yeah, just a different evil. Choose your evil.
Right. But it's like I think that there is a thing where it would have been worse in the sense of I think people would have been a lot less aware of what's going on. Because politics is now it's like a thing.
Yeah.
Like there used to be people back then who were like, oh, I hate Bush, or oh, this carry this or stuff like that, but it was not so part of people's daily lives. And now it's become its own thing now.
Yeah.
Which is not a good thing, but also in a sense you have people now who are more aware of like, oh, maybe at the local level I should elect better people in my school board because these people determine my child's education. Or this councilman or congressman is corrupt and they shouldn't be in office. And so I think that there is an increased awareness at that level.
I mean, and honestly, if people actually want change to happen, they have to vote where they live.
Right.
And people have to like start campaigns where they live. And there's this like grassroots sort of campaign starting up about trying to get rid of corruption in government and trying to stop like big lobbyists and corporations from having all of the power and everything. And I can't remember what it was called, but Jennifer Lawrence is a spokesperson for it. I was like, oh. So when I saw it, I was like, oh God. But I kind of like, okay, I'll watch it. And I was actually like, I don't know this campaign, this organization. I'm not sure. It seems from the video I saw, it seemed to be have its heart the right place. It didn't want it. It's almost like they were tired of left right. Like this is not about left or right. This is just about our voices being heard and not being subjugated to the media and everything. And they even admit the media is the biggest problem, one of the big problem with elections these days. And so
right.
Yeah.
And I think that even I'm looking now, like I was looking for more stuff, and it was like even Senator Susan Collins of Maine, who's a very, very weak Republican, talking about how this case can and should be brought up on appeal.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that there's people who are kind of on the fence now, I think that it's really pushed a lot of people who were otherwise on the fence about voting for him, being like, okay, I'm voting for him just to
Yeah.
I'm voting for him just to get even.
This is the most important tweet of the day,
Yes.
and I just want everyone to know. The tweet says, "Me at the jail distracting the guard to free Trump."
T.S. Madison shaking.
I don't know if it'll focus. That is the future.
That's what I'm doing.
This is how we win, people.
Memes.
This is how we win the meme war. So anyway,
Michael Rappaport said, "I'm predicting that Trump will win the election in 2024, and I just bet money on it."
oh no, we're out of focus. There we go.
Okay. Google searches for donate to Trump briefly passed the searches
Wait,
for boobs.
Michael Rappaport said what? I was distracted.
Oh, no, sorry. Michael Rappaport said, "I'm predicting that Trump will win the election in 2024 and just bet money on it."
Oh, okay. He's not. He didn't say he was. I thought I fell for that whole Michael Rappaport thing in 2020 about him being a super stupid woke liberal, but apparently it was just all an act.
Right.
He was just trolling people. He doesn't really care either way. Which is funny. Like, I'm glad that someone did that. But I fell for it, though. I was one of those stupid people that just, like... It's like, oh my gosh, he's so terrible. He's such a bad, terrible person.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you're ready to wrap, but I got a good quote to wrap on
Okay, let's wrap up.
from Trump himself. This is a caller into a radio show. The caller said, "I'd like to know how you handle your stress." Trump said, "I try and tell myself it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. If you tell yourself it doesn't matter, like you do shows, you do this, you do that, then you have earthquakes in India where 400,000 people get killed. Honestly, it doesn't matter."
And on that,
Yes.
it doesn't matter. This video doesn't matter. If you don't watch it, you don't matter.
Up.